Every day we find ourselves in a world of sensitive topics being broadcasted all over social media with everyone's opinions out there on everything. Equal rights for women, equal rights for marginalized peoples, and even rights for animals, plants, water, the entire world. But can we live in a world of ethics where we aren't just being cutthroat against each other? Can't we all just be happy? So today, that's what we're going to talk about. Welcome. So, you may not know this, but everything we do, think, feel, everything actually has a moral meaning to it. And if it doesn't, then that is your moral principle to whatever that may be. And because of this, we have to decide our moral stance on every given thing. Sometimes people actually will tend to use the words morals or ethics interchangeably, but what is different between morals and ethics is that ethics come from society. In ethics, society tells us what's either good or right or bad or wrong or evil. And all of this boils down to social norms. And with this, we also find ourselves with 4 vocab words, which you may not realize you use habitually in your actions every day. And so from success across cultures, norms are folkways, right versus rude, mores, right versus wrong, taboos, right versus forbidden, and laws, right versus illegal. And so with these words, right, wrong, rude, we can kind of divide everything between these, such as like stealing someone's food off their plate. That's rude if you know them personally, but it's wrong if it's a total stranger, honestly, like if you're in public. But at the same time, there are many different things that fall under these categories that aren't just food, like getting into an elevator and turning around, knowing where the door will open. This is a folkway as to what is right in an elevator. Simple as that. Not very ethical-ish, but when it gets to actual things besides elevators, and maybe more so like stealing things off of other people's plates, you do find your own ethical stances on what is right and rude, or right and wrong, or right and forbidden, and illegal, to which we can't change the laws, unfortunately. So I do want to add an asterisk for this entire video. I am not ever telling you to break any laws or choose the ones to follow, because that would be wrong and illegal. What's really important to remember for social norms is that for each folkway, more, taboo, and law, there are very different feelings when you carry across different cultures, societies, countries, even inner subcultures of countries and societies, even neighborhoods, even as small as a house to house or person to person. Unless it's the laws, again. Can't just follow the ones you want to. Because these all vary, we have to respect each and every one of our own opinions. Just because you think something is right does not mean it is right in another culture. It just means it's right to you and your culture. Boom. Drop the mic. Let's be honest, because of the whole dichotomy of right versus wrong, there are a great deal of YouTube channels that actually thrive off of the wrongdoings of others and getting to judge them and put their own opinions on them. And I very well could be in this game and probably have a more successful YouTube channel, but that's not really my kind of ethics. My kind of ethics are kind of beyond good and evil. And I don't want to add too much of my own 2 cents here, but for some reason it always seems like when you put out your own opinion, you kind of just share the opinion of everyone who already agrees with you, unless you're like a super mega ultra influencer to where you can actually influence the opinions of others. But if you do know something about me, I prefer not to influence people too much because I want everyone to be their most authentic selves and choose what they would put out into the world versus what I would tell them to. So just again, some 2 cents here on why this is not a thriving wrongdoing. You did this channel. We're just a self-thriving channel. So I just want to throw that in there. So there's a really fun quote that comes to mind. If you don't stand for anything, you'll fall for nothing. And I know that this quote is actually quoted in a bunch of things, but I like to say, question everything. If you don't question everything, you can just fall for anything, which is basically the same as the original source material. Very derivative. But in this, can you be an ethicist without ruffling a few feathers? Not necessarily, probably not. But can you be a Nietzschean? Can you be beyond good and evil and an ethicist at the same time? Yes, definitely yes. Because there is an entire another side to ethics, which is just your own human happiness. Flourishing, eudaimonia, virtue, ethics. And this is what we thrive for. This is what we love. To Nietzsche's very core, he urges everyone to question everything, starting solely with Christian values, admittedly. That is his source of inspiration. But I get it. There are a lot of imposed moral ethics that are Christian value-based, to which he says, these all deny life. How are you supposed to just go on and be a happy, healthy human if you're doing it to get into heaven? To where he says, this mindset should be applied to everything, every belief, every societal norm, every superstition, whatever it may be. But the real kicker for Nietzsche here is that if we don't follow through with the questioning everything and just still stick to God, that what if he dies? What if God is dead one day, like he says he is, God is dead, and you fall into nihilism? And then you're all like, I don't have to be a good person because there's no heaven to go to. And now you're a loose, wild animal. Not you, obviously, but like, without God, we have nihilism. And because Nietzsche believes that the truest form of Christianity is no longer here because of the like neo-Judeo-Christianity, it just got bought out by capitalists. It sold out. And so why still stick to its rules? I'm getting myself all flustered. Don't mind me if I'm all red in the face. But to conclude this little section here, Nietzsche did have a follow-up step to what you should do next. And as we've said here 1,000 times, and we're just saying it differently over again, it's just to do what you want to authentically, and to pretty much choose your own moral values. You do you. Be the Übermensch. Choose your own will to power. All of these very many things honestly ultimately conclude to a rewrite of Aristotle's original virtue ethics. Not original, Egyptian virtue ethics. Let's be honest. And so, to go over everything again, Nietzsche does not focus on morals in a right versus wrong sense, and suggests we throw out the entire book and start over again. And each, every day, start over again, as we are constantly becoming a new human being who is more and more authentic to our true selves every day, with every action and every opinion and every new discover of a changing opinion, honestly. So I originally found that Nietzsche's views can be seen as a form of virtue ethics on the internet encyclopedia of philosophy, whole mouthful there, to which it says that all we need to do is flourish. From ResearchGate, there are 3 overarching dimensions of virtue ethics, which include human flourishing, well-being and happiness, character traits, excellence or virtue, and knowledge, moral or practical wisdom, meaning that we need to look within ourselves in order to make our own decisions versus social norms exclusively, especially. For instance, if a social norm told you to jump off a cliff, would you?
I'm thinking, what's the worst thing that could happen to me if I don't do the ättestup?
And so with this view on ethics, we are to move in our own accordance that is ever becoming. We are always changing our own mind and values set upon everything. And in this, we actually push our own will to power, in that our own will is powering us to do what we actually want to do most authentically, and to be our truest, most becoming self. How to Ubermensch 101, right here. Very literally what this means is that what we believed yesterday does not actually apply today, as if we are writing a rule book for ourselves to follow. No, we get to write a new book every single day. Boom, boom, boom. According to Nietzsche, there are only a few things that we need to do in order to be flourishing, a flourishing human being, or even an Ubermensch. And from the Internet Encyclopedia of Philosophy, they actually gave us 3 A's, which are pretty easy to follow. So first, autonomy. Second, authenticity. And third, affirmation. And now, of course, we've talked about affirmation many and many a times. So life is suffering, get over it, basically. Without getting over it, we are doomed to live in basically just stressed out about all of the expectations that we put on life, to which life is always disappointing us, and oh no, we're so sad about it. If we just affirm that life is stressful and suffering, then we are happy. And if we affirm that life is limited, then we can push to, fill all of that limit with as much as we can, versus seeing to it that in the afterlife we can be happy then. It's not confirmed, so might as well live it up in the now and here. Going out of order here. So authenticity is actually stringed in with self-creation. And so authenticity brings out what we are most in us by actually bringing it out quite physically. Pretty much without making art in any shape or form, we are not the most authentic. Without being able to make art and see our own flaws and errors and then become more, we cannot successfully be our most authentic. From Nietzsche's Gay Science, we, however, want to become who we are. Human beings are new, unique, incomparable, who give themselves laws, who create themselves. And before I get too ahead of myself, I do want to say that Nietzsche did appreciate the fact that we gave ourselves a Bible in the first place, because it did give us so much meaning to follow. But again, because so much of the then church was sold out to capitalism and all that awesome goodness, there was just no more of those good morals to follow. And thus, God is dead, thus nihilism, thus Übermensch. So we like to see meaning in creation, but we can't stick with it for thousands and thousands of years. Come on, guys. Lastly and firstly on our list is autonomy, which is just being self-driven, which is to use your will to power, to choose what you want to do in autonomous state, to be your own free-willed agent, if you will. What's funny here in the whole idea of autonomy is I actually wrote my entire senior thesis on the ability to have the autonomy to be the Übermensch, in the fact that capitalism sucks so freaking much that the ability to have autonomy is actually a lot harder than you think it is. So just gotta finish my book on that, and then we'll fix the whole world, won't we? And so, in conclusion, I want to take one look back at social norms, folkways being good or right versus rude, mores being right versus wrong, taboos being right versus forbidden, and laws, obviously, right versus illegal. Once again, I'm not advising you to not follow any laws here, by the way. But I want to take a look back at, history. We ought to. It is our honest, godforsaken right. We need to take a look at every single thing and question it. For instance, it used to be a folk way to hire a single woman, single non-married woman. It used to be a more to not live with your partner before you got married. It used to be a taboo to be in a same-sex or interracial relationship. It used to be illegal. So many things. There are so many things that used to be illegal that are just perfectly fine now that really are not good. So many things, slavery for one. And so what if we didn't question these things? What if we were yeah, all of these things are perfectly fine, and we lived in the 1950s forever? No. This is why people are actually putting out their own opinions every single day, to get things to change. And do I believe people shouldn't put out their opinions every day? No. I believe everyone should thrive and flourish, and that we should all be living in a human flourishing state. And to do this, you might have to actually push your own opinion on other people. But at the same time, you don't have to. But if you do it, see it as a need to your own virtue of, being a good person, then you may feel that you have to. But no one says you have to, because you are your own authentic, autonomous self. Honestly, when it comes down to people shouting out their own opinion, the one thing I do want to say about it is, do they ever take a minute, or do you or I, not they, take a minute to question yourself before spewing what you think is right? Both sides have their own things they will question thoroughly or stick to for thousands or hundreds or tens of years, or the other way around. And because of this, we have to not pick one side. We have to be our own person, not liberal, not conservative, not, the one side that's in between, the third party. We have to constantly be an ever-evolving society to where every single thing is questioned, maybe on a yearly state. A really, really hilarious example of this entire philosophy is the movie Year One with Jack Black and Michael Cera and everyone else amazing in it. Olivia Wilde, for one. Or Tiffany.
That's the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. You don't eat from that one. It's forbidden. Everybody knows that.
But why is it forbidden? What is it about this fruit that they don't want us to have?
It's not the fruit, it's about the rule. It's about doing what you're told.
Yeah, we've been doing what we were told our entire lives. How's that worked out for us?
Constantly, throughout the entire movie, we got this buddy-buddy of Michael Cera and Jack Black, where Jack Black is questioning every single thing in the entire world of, like, human history, and throughout it, Michael Cera is dragged along, basically getting punished alongside. But without it, we wouldn't get the beautiful ending, to which, if you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it, but it's a beautiful ending of he basically was going to be king. Not really, but then he was like, but don't listen to me. That's stupid. Stop listening to everybody. Actually, stop just listening and actually, like, think for yourself. And so that was a really, really beautiful, beautiful movie, even though it's hilarious and inappropriate. Overall, this conclusion is very long, I'm sorry. But overall, to live beyond good and evil is simply not to impose your, what's the word? Preconceptions, and simply think more every day on every act, on whether or not it is helpful for your own human happiness. And if maybe other people's human happiness is a part of your own human happiness, then you will also think about how it will affect other people's human happinesses. But I guess that's only for certain people, so that's it. That's me, you guys. That's me in a nutshell. Or Nietzsche. That's Nietzsche in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed it. Go live beyond good and evil, guys. Do it. Do it.
Do it.
Just kidding. I love you guys so much. If you are all the way here to the very, very end, please let me know what you think about the new art. If I put it in the end, I'm giving myself 0 time to edit this, so hopefully. Have a great rest of your night, and I will see you in the next video, I hope. If you like this video, smash a like and a comment and all that goodness. What are some stupid folkways, mores, taboos, or laws that you've seen about recently? Either past, present, or future, whatever. I am so excited to learn about it in the comments, and I will see you there. So, good night, I love you, and have a great rest of your day. Bye! We all hear and see sensitive topics every day. Equal rights for women, equal rights for marginalized societies and peoples. Rights for animals, plants, water, for the whole planet. Normality for different bodies and non-conforming lifestyles. But can we just be in the world of ethics without it being so cutthroat? That is what we're going to talk about today. Struthless intro song.
One of these days